As a Thai GL fan, I feel so seen this lesbian visibility week. Like, the past 2 days alone was insane. So many major updates dropped, and we need to talk about all of it. We've got Becky's debut, the Northstar lineup, and new series, Namtan and film addressing issues, Lingorm unfair treatment, Emi dealing with a stalker situation, Fulfill and hometown romance updates, AI Girl, and a bunch of upcoming series. So yeah, let's get into it. Starting with Becky, because this girl has been booked and busy. She's been attending non-stop events, and she even showed up with Emibonnie yesterday. But the biggest news? Becky just dropped the first ever teaser for her debut single Skin from her upcoming EP. Now, she's been hinting at this for a while, focusing more on music and fashion. I remember in one of her lives, she literally said something was coming next month, and this is it. She's officially debuting with Skin on May 1st. And that's not even all. She also signed with CAA, a huge LA-based agency, for her international work as an artist. And yeah, this is big. She's the first Thai female actress to do this. We're talking about an agency that has artists like Ariana, Sabrina, and rising names like Hudson and Connor Story. So yeah, this is a major move. Now, I did see some fans freaking out over this. People are saying she's moving to Hollywood, going to England, and that she's going to stop acting in Thai GL because Hollywood don't like that. Relax, that's not what's happening. Becky is still independent. She has her own agency, and she's literally one of the top A-list actresses in Thailand right now. Signing with CAA is for international projects and exposure, and for her music, she'll be managed by Wild Music Group. That does not mean she's leaving Thailand or GLs. At the same time, Girl From Nowhere Reset has been doing really well. Yes, there's a lot of criticism too, and I'll get into that in another video because I haven't watched the finale yet, but overall the reactions are very mixed. But the good news? Becky hinted that the show might get a second season, so we might actually see Nano again next semester. I just feel really proud seeing everything Becky and Freen are achieving. I've been following them since the very beginning, like back when the Gap novel adaptation was first announced. Seeing this growth, it's crazy. Now, speaking of announcements, Northstar Entertainment had their lineup event yesterday. The best part of the event for me was the after party. Everyone was dancing like crazy. And look at Mim, those hips are working overtime. So they officially confirmed 3 series. First one is Lunar Secrets. We already know about this is for Ginnyjayna. I'm not gonna lie. The poster kinda looks AI because I did not recognize Jayna at first. They also dropped the pilot yesterday on their official YouTube channel. I watched it. I liked it. But I understood absolutely nothing. Where are the subtitles, Northstar? Even while I'm making this, there are still no subs. They did post on X saying they're working on it, but like, why wasn't this ready before release? No subtitles, no proper thumbnail. It just feels a bit unprepared. I know you guys want to hear my thoughts on this pilot, so here we go. First of all, I know nothing about the original novel. I kept seeing people hype it up as enemies to lovers, you know, model versus actress rivalry, and I was really looking forward to that dynamic. But from what I saw, it didn't really feel like that. I could be wrong, so correct me if I am. Also, I'm literally reacting without understanding any of the dialogue. I'm just going off visuals here. That being said, I did love that one scene where Ginny's character was looking at Jayna with those super yearning eyes. Like, okay, I see you. But then, the blue contact lenses, I'm sorry. Can we please get rid of those? They just look so off, I can't take it seriously. Overall, the pilot was good. I'm just really happy to see them in these new roles. It actually feels like a role reversal from Poisonous Love, which is interesting. But I'm not gonna lie, the pilot did feel a bit rushed. Like, this is their highly anticipated second series, and it just doesn't look as high production or as polished as I expected. It feels like they didn't fully push to make it stand out. Because let's be real, some companies go all out with their pilots, like Change, for example. It's actually funny because fans always say LMSY pilots are better than the actual series. Okay, not always true, but their pilots really hit different. Harmony Secret pilot, still one of my all-time favorites. Anyway, I'm still really happy for Ginnyjayna. I'm not sure if Apple directed this pilot or not, but she is the director for the series overall. Now about applemim. They didn't get their second series in this lineup, which I know a lot of fans were waiting for after Earth. So yeah, the fandom is a bit disappointed, and I get it. But we don't need to panic. The rest of the year, Apple and Mim are going to stay busy. Northstar would be dumb to not utilize them. They're clearly valuable. They'll definitely get another series. My guess, they probably just haven't finalized a novel yet. So don't lose hope. We're most likely getting more of them in the remaining 4 Elements projects. Now moving on, mewrenee got Beauty and the Bike. And this one is actually so interesting. It's apparently about a girl who wants to become an erotic novel writer, runs away from her parents, and ends up meeting this mysterious biker, who she eventually falls in love with. And I'm not gonna lie, this is such a perfect fit for them. When the novel adaptation was first announced, everyone was speculating about which couple would get it. And never did I think it would go to mewrenee. But now that I see it, yeah, they actually fit perfectly. I'm actually really glad the second couple is getting their own series. They were one of my favorites last year. We did lose Win and Priya from Queendom, which is such wasted potential. Like, they deserved so much more. Now the third one, Third Person. This is also based on a novel with the same name, and I'm not gonna lie, this is the one that has me the most curious. Like, something is definitely cooking here. I just can't fully figure it out yet. From the novel synopsis, it's about a mysterious girl who loses her memory after an accident, so she's dealing with amnesia. Then she meets the love of her life, her girlfriend. But then, a third person enters and starts messing things up between the main couple. And that's where the story really unfolds some things from the past. We're getting a new couple, Garn and Mimi, and Piglet is playing the third person. And honestly, this is the pilot I like the most. It feels fresh, it's shot really well, and there's something intriguing about it. Definitely something I'm looking forward to. Also Fame. Yes, she's finally getting her own partner. Northstar is currently looking for an official pairing for her. And I'm not even gonna lie, I'm greedy. I want Fame to have her own GL and her own solid pairing. Hopefully in the next lineup, fingers crossed. Now, let's talk about Namtanfilm. Namtan went live yesterday for about an hour, and the whole time she was addressing everything happening around her. And it felt like she was just trying to knock some sense into the fandom. She talked about pretty much everything going on, especially the chaos on fandom Twitter. And I'm not gonna lie, she sounded really tired, like exhausted. She said she doesn't want to control anyone, and she can't control how fans think or act. But the problem is, if she stays quiet, people say, oh, why are you ignoring this? And if she speaks up, people say, why are you talking about it? Just ignore it. It's like, you literally can't win. She made it clear that she speaks up because the people around her are getting hurt too. Now, she didn't directly address the recent inappropriate touching controversy, but she did talk about the ongoing discussion about not getting enough opportunities or work. And if you're not on fandom Twitter, really congratulations. Because the main discourse right now is that bottoms don't get enough jobs or promotions compared to tops. Yeah, people are seriously comparing Film and Love to Namtan and Milk because of this. And I'm sorry, but every time I read those tweets, I'm like, are we being serious right now? There are fans who believe that if you're labeled as the bottom, you'll automatically get fewer opportunities and less promotion than the top. And this whole narrative is just not true. And it's not even new. When Gap blew up and became a whole phenomenon, the same thing was happening in the fandom. Back then, people were saying Freen was being left behind, while Becky was getting all the brand deals and opportunities. Meanwhile, Freen was literally playing Kunsam, the top of all tops. So by that logic, shouldn't she have been the one getting more work? Like, where does that theory go now? This just proves that this whole top versus bottom opportunities thing makes no sense. But this kind of comparison between actresses in a pair always escalates. Managers get blamed, companies get blamed, everyone gets dragged. And Namtan actually addressed this directly, even defending her manager. She said, when it comes to accepting jobs, Pi Ying, her manager, isn't the one making the final decisions. She's someone we consult. Sometimes she even wants us to take certain jobs, but we might decide not to. In the end, the final decision is ours. The people selling the work promote everyone, but it's the clients who choose, so we don't really have control over everything. She also pointed out something fans don't like to hear. That fan behavior actually affects their work. Brands have backed out of working with them in the past because of fandom issues. And that's serious. In her long message, she basically asked everyone to have empathy, because the people fans criticize, it affects them and the people around them behind the scenes too. She also shut down the rumor that she and Film haven't been spending time together lately. According to her, they both mutually decided to spend more time with their families. That's it. No drama, no conspiracy. But of course, fans turned it into something bigger. Film also responded to a rude fan, which is rare. She usually ignores negativity. She said, "If you don't know what I've been through, please don't judge me yet. I feel a bit sad knowing that my attempt to live a happy life makes some people worry or overthink. However, you'll never know how much I love my sister, because that's something only I truly understand. And that says everything. Also, Namtan went live with Devika, and they briefly talked about film too. Now moving on, Emmy and Bonnie. They were at an event alongside Becky and other actress, and Emmy actually opened up about something really serious. She talked about her stalker. If you remember, a few months ago, someone was following her around and she was scared. It got so bad that she stopped going to a cafe she used to visit regularly. She hasn't gone back since the incident. We really need to give GMM actresses a break. It's definitely not okay. Now let's talk about Lingorm. They just wrapped filming for their 3rd series, In Love Forever, which is huge. Yesterday we were all celebtating but today the fandom is furious. And it's all because of Beck's recent report. Fans are calling it biased and accusing the company of completely sidelining Lingorm. I've seen tweets like, "This is BEC's report. Lingorm brought in massive profits, yet there isn't even a proper photo highlighting their achievements. They're the only GL couple to sell out Impact Arena, but Channel 3 is still pushing another couple. And you call this fairness?" Because if you look at that report without any context, you would assume another couple is the main driver of success. That's how the narrative is being presented. Fans are like, no hate to Lenamu, but whoever made this report is definitely a Gumber bear, because why is Lingorm literally on the last slide? And I'm not gonna lie, putting them at the end, that does feel a little questionable. Like, I get why fans feel like it's low-key rage bait. And now, of course, it's blown up all over the internet. It could just be poor presentation choices. But there's also a big point that people are completely missing here. This report is specifically about Q4 of 2025 highlights, and that was the exact time My Safe Zone was airing. And let's be real, Lena and Miyu were huge during that period. They were everywhere, they still are. So from that perspective, it's not that shocking that they're more prominent in the report. I personally don't find that offensive. Context matters. Now, if we look ahead, Lingorm's next series is expected to drop around the 3rd quarter of this year. So when that Q3 report comes out, I'm pretty sure Lingorm will be front and center at the end of the day. They're literally cash cows for the channel. And their results already speak for themselves. And now, another Channel 3 GL couple just debuted last night. Fulfill dropped its first episode, and I'm not gonna lie, it was so funny. I enjoyed it a lot. The brides looked absolutely stunning. And Bam? Hello? The chemistry? Yeah. Girls, I'm so gay I was literally blushing the whole time watching them. Now, about the plot, I think they straight went into marriage. But I actually like that. It feels fresh. And can we talk about the parents? Thank God we're getting new actors. We are not repeating the same old parents again. That being said, I'm not gonna lie, there are some similarities to Lingorm's upcoming series. You've got the whole mother-in-law not liking the daughter-in-law. One parent being supportive while the other creates problems. I just hope they don't drag this conflict for too long. Overall, though, it was a really solid first episode. Super refreshing, great chemistry, and the humor actually lands. There were a few moments that genuinely made me laugh. And that ending? They ended it at the perfect moment. Fun was out there giving a whole performance for her wife. Meanwhile, Ayun is just standing there with her mom. I was losing it. In my head, I was screaming like, "Turn around, please!" And why didn't she call her wife right after her mom called? Like, girl? I figured it out this was coming, but Fun really went all in with that performance. This is gonna be such an iconic moment to look back in few years. Meanwhile, Eun is just standing there enjoying the performance low-key. That whole scene was chaos in the best way. And then the preview for the next episode? They wasted no time. We just started and we're already crying. And Hometown Romance episode 4, you guys, it was a special 1-hour episode and I absolutely loved it. I feel like LMSY and their director really learned from past mistakes. And I really liked that conversation scene. Kao holding herself back from kissing C because she didn't want to repeat the same mistake. That was actually so meaningful. Look Me did great, but let's be real, this episode belonged to Sonia. We got to see her ex, we saw how much she's changed, and her whole character development really stood out. Like her taking the buffaloes out for bathing and feeding. That was not something I expected, but it showed how much she's grown. She's literally stepping into her wife's world and responsibilities. We also saw her 918 project, her father approving it, her family finally being supportive. Everything was going well, and then the ex shows up. And I'm sorry, she's a menace. She's definitely about to do something crazy. She better be careful around Fertilizer Girl. Now, another update. Remember I talked about shades in my previous video? about how international fans couldn't watch it and we will have to wait until June? Well, plans changed. The company moved up the schedule and now you can watch the uncut episodes starting today on YouTube, but it's members only. You have to buy a subscription. And I'm not gonna lie, this feels a bit messy. I'm pretty sure they had a deal with the platform to air it first and then release the uncut version later for free. But now, switching it to paid members only? Yeah, they definitely didn't think that through. But I mean, a win is a win, I guess. I'm definitely excited to watch it. Although some fans are already saying like, bring back free GLs on YouTube. Other than that, everyone's busy with events and promo tours. Like Jane, Jingjing, Kapook, and Sacy for Enemies with Benefits. And during one of their shows, they mentioned that GMM doesn't have a dating ban, and that there are actually on-screen couples dating in real life. Now, of course, the internet went crazy trying to figure out who. It can be BL couples too, so please, be responsible with what you believe. Don't start conspiracy theories again. Lastly, mewrenee dropped 2 trailers for their upcoming GLs. First, AI Girl, coming on June 24th.
The robots are here. Our future is no longer science fiction.
But I'm gonna be honest, the acting isn't really giving robot or humanoid, it feels very human. Still, it's a new concept, and I'm curious to see where they take it. I'm definitely watching it. Now for Beyond the Dream. I don't have that much to say because it feels very familiar. It's giving that go back in time to change the future, or see your lover die in a vision and try to save them trope. And we've seen this before. GMM even has a similar GL coming up, and shows like Reverse With Me and Reverse For You already explored similar ideas. So yeah, it feels a bit repetitive to me. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next video.